Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me for today's Lunch and Learn. It is a cold opening day. The Reds are going to play the Cardinals later today at 4:10. It is going to be one of the colder opening days that we've ever had in Cincinnati. It's going to be right around the 40s. But I'm going to show you a couple of things that the library has where you can dive deep into the world of baseball and other sports as well. And I'm going to show you a whole bunch of other things that are going on around the community and also at your local library. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. We are going to dive into baseball, but I really wanted to highlight first this Writer in Residence podcast from our wonderful writer in residence, Danny McLean. She interviews author Sheila Williams, and Sheila wrote Dancing on the Edge of the Roof, On the Right Side of a Dream, The Shade of My Own Tree, and Girls Most Likely. This is season 6 of the Writers in Residence season podcast, and this is episode 1, and it features, of course, the author Sheila Williams. All of our Writer in Residence programs are sponsored by the Library Foundation. They do a great job of really making sure that the library puts together some really awesome programs all throughout the year. So you definitely want to support the foundation. Now, there's another thing I do want to point out before we get to baseball, and that is the fact that the COVID world is still there, even though they're going to start letting some fans in and socially distance at the game today. You definitely want to still stay on top of it. And at select drive-through branches, you can get a free at-home COVID test kit. And you can pick those up at Anderson, Covedale, downtown, at the main library, Groesbeck, Harrison, and Reading branch drive-throughs. And it only takes you 15 minutes to get your results. And this is a program that's going out throughout about 90 different public libraries in Ohio, and we're part of that. There's even a video to tell you how the process works, so definitely check that out. All right, so let us get on with baseball. The day is nigh, and it is time to type in the word baseball. And when we get baseball, when we've typed in baseball, we have over 5,000 results. Actually, we have 5,678 results. So you can, of course, pare it down a little bit by just clicking on several things here. If you just want books, if you want ebooks, if you want audio books that are here, you can look at the TV and movies that we have, and even music and magazines as well over here. Okay, newspaper and journals. All right. So you can definitely check that out. What we did was we actually created a little bit of a list just to get you started. Let's go to our list. We're going to let it churn here for a moment. And our list, what we wanted to do was kind of create, we put 34 things on this list. Let me go over a couple of them. Of course, we start out with the most wonderful collection of information when it comes to the world of baseball, and that's Ken Burns' wonderful documentary that he did a while ago. But we have all of the DVDs for that, so you can definitely place those on hold and get those at your preferred location. So you can get it and pick it up either curbside or in person inside the branch for Ken Burns' wonderful series on baseball. And of course, we've got all the sorts of baseball books, 100 classic moments in the history of baseball. If you're really up on your Reds trivia, you can check out this book. There's also the Echoes of Cincinnati Reds Baseball series. This is the greatest stories ever told. And you can place a hold on that, or you can click here and get the e-book for that. And then there is memorable stories of Cincinnati Reds, and that's part of the Game of My Life, Cincinnati Reds, and that's Lou Friedman. And you've got the 1940s Cincinnati Reds. You've got a great rivalry between Dodgers and the Reds, Red Stockings, The Cincinnati Reds from 1950 to 1985. Mr. Redlegs and his great adventure. That would be fun for the kids. Game 6, the pinnacle of all World Series games, it seems like. And that was the 1975 World Series against the Boston Red Sox. I never had a chance to go to Crosley Field and see a game. However, this book really almost takes you back there. It really is the gem of the Queen City, the great 50s Cincinnati Reds. You've got before the machine, before the Big Red Machine happened. There's the story. And Crosley Field again, making the Big Red Machine. And right now, I want to click here. I provided the link in the book list, but right here, I went ahead and put it up here. This is, if you've not visited the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, you are missing out because it is a great museum. Even if you even if you don't really like baseball, it really is a great museum, and it's right there next to the ballpark, Great American Ballpark, and they've got a whole bunch of information here. They have Reds history, retired numbers, the grade 8, the top 5 leaders. They have alumni. They have the shop, and they always have some rotating displays and exhibits that are going there. So you can even sign up to go on ballpark tours as well. I think that is coming back. And they have a great walking tour of the 1919 World Series, where the great White Sox scandal, where they supposedly threw the game, even though the Cincinnati Reds won. So that is on here in the link. There's a wonderful YouTube video that we found that really kind of goes back to 1970, where the Big Red Machine is actually born. And then they went on to win back-to-back World Series in the middle of the 70s. 8 Men Out is that movie that was filmed locally, but also it highlights the White Sox scandal with the Cincinnati Reds. So check that out. It's a great movie. And then going on to the last part of the 35, you've got the all-time great standard of the Field of Dreams. I didn't put Sandlot on there. I'm so sorry. I should have added Sandlot. They've got Dreamfield, the story of the Field of Dreams, which is a really cool one that you can stream from Canopy. The wonderful story 42, the Jackie Robinson story, Moneyball, and we do have Blu-ray discs. Don't forget that. We do have a collection of Blu-rays, and Moneyball is one of them. Bull Durham, Fever Pitch, one of my all-time favorite comedies, Major League, just a fun movie. And then, of course, A League of Their Own. There is no crying in baseball, even if the Reds don't go all the way. But I'm not going to say that today. Today is opening day, so we are going to be hoping the best for the Cincinnati Reds. So we're going to go to the main page. We're going to go to stream and download. Let's check out what else we have here. So we're going to go to Libby, and don't forget Libby and Overdrive are the same thing. When I click on browse, use your browser, I'm using the computer. But remember, you can download the app from the Apple Store or for Android devices on Google Play. And we've got it all covered here for you. But I'm going to click on use a browser. And instead of trying to go over here into subjects, I'm just going to go to search. And then I'm going to type in baseball. Okay. And I'm going to hit return. Now, there's 890 results that are electronic results. So we're talking ebooks, we're talking e-audio books as well. Now, anytime that you see an item that says available, that means you could borrow it right away. So let's click here. Now, I want you to notice over here, these are the formats. So if you have a Kindle, this would definitely work on a Kindle. This is juvenile nonfiction. This is a Magic Treehouse story Magic Treehouse series is a wonderful series, especially when it comes to nonfiction. This is a nonfiction companion book to the A Big Day for Baseball. And then other categories here under there, you can read a sample by clicking here. And you can see there, remember this is a child's book, but this is a great book to get kids interested, and that's not the end of the story, but that's the end of the sample. All right, so we're going to click back out. So I can scroll down now. If I wanted to click this one, I'm going to notice this is history, this is sports and recreation, this is nonfiction. Once again, here are the formats. And you can tell this is going to be an adult book because there's no juvenile subject heading over here. I can read the sample. I can click through. And sometimes what I really like on the samples is they give you a table of contents, but this one does not. But all you have to do is click borrow, and then you can determine if you want it 14 days or 21 days, 7 days, 14, or 21 days. Remember the description. I know it starts to fade away. You just click that little arrow. It comes up, and it tells you even more. And it even says some books that you might find interesting. This is a great book, The Bucket List. It is 162 things you must do, see, get, and experience before you die if you are a baseball fan. I read this a couple of years ago. It came out, I do believe, in 2010. Yeah, 2010 it came out, and it was really a fun book. Let's see what the sample says. I was hoping that it would. All right, so if you're creating a baseball road trip, it's always kind of fun to do that. I'm trying to go to all of the ball fields. I have about a third to a half finished so far. Of course, COVID has kind of thrown a monkey wrench in that for the last couple of years, or the last year. So definitely check that book out as well. So let me go back to the main list. And let's find an audio book. Let's keep going down. And now what I can do, now here's an audio book, but let me go up over here. Let me go over here. Now see right here on the left-hand side, it says audiobooks. So there's 120. So if I just click on that, then that 890 gets down to 122. So I can look at the books that I want. Here's Bob Costas' Baseball Forever. If I click on that, that's available. And of course, I can read the description by clicking here. And I can look at the details. And I always like looking at details because I like to see how long the book might be, to see if I can finish it in time. And then, of course, I could even listen to a sample. All right, we're not going to listen to a sample today, but definitely check that out. I mean, there are so much here. There's a total of 890 results for baseball, and there are juvenile books for kids, and there's also books for adults as well. Now, since we're here at Libby, let's go to magazines. We're just going to click on magazines. And then we're not going to go to celebrity and gossip, but we are going to go to subjects. And we're going to come down here and click on 170 sports magazines. Now, there's a whole bunch of sports on here. There's Sports Collectors Digest, which is pretty cool. But we're going to look at this one. It's Baseball America. And look, it's March the 1st, 2021. So I can click here, and all of the magazines are always available. So they will always be able to be checked out. Now, this will give me a description. If I click here, it's not really going to give me much more. Oh, it did give me a much more. All right, position rankings for left-handers. This is a really massive book, a massive magazine. I can read a sample. And let me click back. And you can see there is the list. And what I love about our magazines, especially if you're using it on a computer or on a tablet, you can just literally click on the table of contents and it will take you directly to that page. But there is the sample of the magazine. And another thing that I really like about our magazine service, if I click right over here, I can go back, and this is something I always kind of like going back to, is back to the previous year and see what they were saying. Now, of course, 2020 was a strange year, and all in all, and definitely in baseball, but you can check that out. And then, of course, you can borrow it as well right here. So definitely check out the magazines. There's 170, but they're not all about baseball. This is the only one with a dedicated subject of baseball. But if you're not into baseball, then we've got 170 sports magazines, 169 sports magazines for you. So we're going to go back to the main collection. We're going to go to Hoopla. And this one really surprised me. When I was looking at this before, I typed in, found Hoopla. All right. And I'm just going to type in baseball up here. And I was really surprised at how many results. It came up with 1,665 results, and I went pretty far. Of course, I can exclude some abridged titles. I can exclude some children's only titles, but there are a whole bunch of things on here. Obviously, I think this is a juvenile book just by looking at the cover and this one. But there is a whole bunch of stuff on here. And what really is amazing is baseball in Montgomery, and I'm pretty sure that's Montgomery, Alabama, baseball in Denver, baseball in Memphis. And, you know, Memphis does not have a Major League Baseball team. So this is a really cool way to look at some material and look at the baseball history that might have happened in your town or a town that you grew up in. Baseball in Asheville, all sorts of things here. I was just really amazed at how many things they have. And of course, they have the series of baseball in Tampa, but this is a very famous series that they do with a lot of books on history. Baseball in Pensacola. I mean, just an unbelievable amount. You know, and it just keeps going on and on and on. And of course, you can see some famous people like Willie Mays is here. But it really has a whole bunch of things on here. Here's 59 minutes of baseball practice, and that's a movie that you can download. So if you are a coach or if you have a son or daughter that's into baseball and they are practicing, this is a great way to kind of get involved with them and watch that. I'm running out of time, so let me switch back to our stream and download and go back. So check out Hoopla, and let's go down to Canopy. I'm going to browse, view in my browser. Scroll down, and right up here, I'm going to type in baseball. And then I'm going to skip all of these, but baseball at bat, better, play better baseball. Here, 70 minutes learning. Real baseball, baseball rituals and traditions, 59-minute baseball practice. There you go again. If I click on baseball here, and just the subject, there's a movie, The Pride of the Yankees, the story of Lou Gehrig. It did win an Academy Award, and I think we're in Oscar season. And then we have all sorts of things here. We have Jack of all trades, the baseball card scandal, the Jackie Robinson story. This is from, I do believe this is a Ken Burns documentary, if I remember. I think it was. Yeah. Great documentary. Yeah, Ken Burns. Yeah, I thought it was Ken Burns. So you can listen to that or watch that, should I say. It's a two-parter, so you can check that out. So there's a whole bunch of things on here. I thought this was kind of interesting. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Diamonds in the Rough, the legacy of Japanese American baseball. And there's another one too that I thought was kind of interesting. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Real baseball, baseball films from the silent era. And this is as featured in Sports Illustrated. So you click here and they're going to show you 13 videos of silent movies, and they're very short, but they're all total 74 minutes. But they're going to show you some old movies, some silent movies that feature baseball. So definitely check that out. So we've done baseball lists, we've done Libby, we've done Hoopla, we've done Canopy. I want to show you something that you might not think of when you think of baseball. I'm going to go to research databases. And then I'm going to click on magazine and newspaper articles. And I'm going to go right down here. Let's see, I want to go to News Bank. There it is, News Bank. I'm going to click here. Now, my library card, I'm going to punch that in. And remember, if you don't have a library card, give us a call at 513-369-6900, and we'd be more than happy to get you a library card. All right, now I want to find information. So I'm going to go right here to the Cincinnati Post. And you can do this for any subject. You can do this for any date, should I say. But I thought it would be kind of fun to look up Cincinnati Reds, and I'm going to search the Cincinnati Reds from the Cincinnati Post, and that used to be the evening newspaper in Cincinnati. And I'm going to look for, let me see, I think I'm going to narrow my search over here. I want it to be right around 1970 right here. So I'm going to go 1960s to 1970, and I'm going to apply and give it a moment to jump in here. And I am going to look for, and I think I might narrow my search even more. Let's go right up here, and I'm going to actually type in this date, October 23rd, 1975. I'm going to apply. And I know if you know that date, that is, and it says page 1, and it has Cincinnati Reds. We're going to click here. And I'm using News Bank. And I clicked on Cincinnati Post, which is no longer around, but the library has the Cincinnati Post. So we're going to, well, let's make this a little smaller so you can see it. Look at that. It's whoopee for Reds, and the party is on. So this is the story, the front page story of them coming back from winning the World Series. And you can read the entire magazine, the entire article there, and just the dignitaries that are there. I thought this was really interesting. And then I thought, oh, well, I found this information. If you have someone that is having a birthday, you could type in that date and you could find out what was on the front page of the Cincinnati Post on that person's birthday. So check that out. I thought that was a really cool thing, but it's really neat to actually look at the article. Here's a picture of Pete Rose at his restaurant that used to be up in Western Hills. And there's no sleep for Pete Rose. The series hero returns. And then I love this. There's a chuckle for today. It says, old age is when you get out of the shower and you're glad the mirror is all fogged up. I understand that. But that used to be the chuckle of the day, apparently, in the Cincinnati Post. But it talks about all of the festivities that were going to happen and all the dignitaries that were going to be there to declare it Cincinnati Reds Day and all that. So it's a really good thing to look up. So definitely check that out. Now I'm running out of time, so let me just highlight a few things that are happening event-wise. I bookmarked it up here, but I'm also going to give you the link. Donut donate days. I always say donut days because I love donuts. So, donate days at the distribution center. And the distribution center is phenomenal. It's a great place that the library put together about 2 years ago, where all of the books go, and that's way we can get the turnaround when it comes to getting books that you put on hold. A whole bunch of people work out there to make sure that all this material gets to your local branch so you can pick it up. But the Library Foundation, the Cincinnati Friends of the Library, they are they're asking for donations. And remember, you want to donate anything that's gently used, books, CDs, or DVDs. That's for the Friends of the Public Library. And they do a wonderful job supporting the programs also that the library puts on throughout the years and throughout the year. And they've got donate days, April the 3rd. That's this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12. You can just drive over to the distribution center, and it's right over there, close to, believe it or not, right close to where Crosley Field used to be. So that's why I wanted to highlight this. And there's actually a placard that you can see that shows you where home plate was. But that's happening on April the 10th and April the 17th, as well as April the 3rd this week. And then the last thing I want to point out is that we're here for you. Here's 12 things you can safely do in person at the library. You can browse, you can check out books and materials. Our computers are there for you. We have laptop kiosks in several of our branches where you can actually take a laptop and go sit down in a comfortable chair and surf the internet. We have definitely free Wi-Fi. People sometimes even are working from home and they drive into our parking lot and use our Wi-Fi from our parking lot. But you can come on in. We are currently having free printing, copying, and faxing. We've had a wonderful relationship with Jobs and Family Services and Legal Aid to help you navigate those programs, and we'll help submit some of that paperwork for you. If you need an email, we can help create one of those. Our Makerspace is phenomenal. What's even better about Makerspace is that we have people that will help you with those wonderful machines. So check that out. Our free meal program is still going on, and that's on Mondays from 3 to 6. With United Way, we're working to help people with their taxes, and that deadline has been extended into May. So that's great, but check that blog post out. We have started back our drop-in homework help sessions at several of our branches, so check that out. As the weather, even though the weather's cold today, the weather is going to be warming up, and we are going to have more outdoor events and story times. And don't forget about our one-on-one help sessions where you can have a My Librarian appointment just by clicking here and setting up that before. So I'm going to click out and go from there.
All right, I do believe that the temperature did go up 1 degree since we started today's Lunch and Learn all about baseball. The library does have you covered. A lot of materials that are book form, and also some that you can just stream right away and download. Don't forget about the magazine. I showed you Baseball in America. That's a great magazine for those real enthusiasts on baseball. And also all of those movies in our book list that we provided for you today as well. So things around the library that I pointed out to you, please keep in mind, if you do have some gently used or new books that you would like to donate to the Library Foundation, that would be great. They're accepting them down at the distribution center the next 3 Saturdays. So I'll provide a link there for you so you can check out when to arrive there. And also don't forget about our podcast from our writer in residence. Danny interviews Sheila Williams, so definitely check that out. And then, of course, the community community art show over there in Sharonville. That's happening from April the 5th all the way until April the 30th. And then, believe it or not, you can pick up at several of our drive-throughs free COVID tests because the importance of testing is still right there for us. We want to get back to normal. And we definitely today want the Cincinnati Reds, at least I do, the Cincinnati Reds to beat the Cardinals. There's nothing better than an opening day win, but there's also nothing better than a win over the Cardinals. Now, I apologize if you have any Cardinal fans out there, but go Reds. I will see you next week for Lunch and Learn. Have a good weekend. Thanks.